Onivia, League of Legends highlights.
This is where we go.
I just love that Dove's debuting on Tryndamere in the top lane, one of the easiest possible champions to play. Oh, it's just perfect. The narrative writes itself, Wolf. Yeah, and so he's just going to be weathering the storm as best he can. Envy now could be in a bit of trouble here as Beryl does have the ultimate. He's holding on to it for a little while. That's a beautiful Captain Jack there from Envy. Has now got a battle on the bottom side as well. Pyosik going to have to use the ult to get himself out of the way, and in the meantime, Envy's dead again. Do we have a pause? No, we don't. We instead have a fight here towards the bottom side. Croco gets exhausted. Kingen almost able to get this one back as Zeka, not exactly what he wanted as he realmed what in.
Just way too long for them to kill Kingen there on the bottom side, as they're going to grab another one. And here's the Herald, it's the whole turret.
Yep, the turret is just dead, and a whole lot of money now going over to Deft and Pyosik. Beryl might keep himself out of range so that he doesn't get all of the gold away from Deft. I believe he just got some. Do you mind?
We'll have that Drake buffer, as well as their front line that's still at this point in the game extremely powerful is Envy.
Yeah, he's going to get stunned up. Kale is here to try and help him out as the ult comes forward, as Envy's just dead. Not a lot that they could do about that one as the ult comes through from Pyosik. Now going to be transforming, does manage to get that reset as we saw. Croco now taking so much damage, and Pyosik eventually flashes his way out, but he'll be able to pick up the kill with the help of Beryl. And now Kale is just a cat on a book with nowhere to go and will be decimated. DRX with a huge victory on the bottom side.
Yeah, and this is ripped through the front line so quickly.
No, it'll be absolutely absurd. It already is absurd, as Hextech Drake is going to be our second. It's now getting taken by Liiv SANDBOX, while the rest of their base and things like that are getting just destroyed. Gravitum going to stun up Dove for a couple of seconds, but of course he's able to move himself. Oh, are we going to get another charge? No, Shelly is going to yeah, she doesn't want to go towards the top side. That's not going to work out there, but Zeka is going to be able to deliver a lot of these minions towards this inner turret, and I love the rotation to get even more from this play. So it's three turrets for a Hextech Drake.
For a Drake, and you're 1 step forward and 2 steps back, and so Dove isn't able to make anything happen. Well, yeah,
Kingen has to be a bit careful here. Has popped the Ghost, wants to get that quick draw over the wall, is going to ult to do it. Gets over there, but he will be collapsed on. Liiv SANDBOX get themselves 1 kill. Can they get themselves more? Because the thing I was going to talk about before is that DRX, when they have a lead with this composition...
with Deft in this bedroom. That's not true, I don't think. I hope not.
No, I've only got a hover hand picture with Coma. That's the only one I've got. As Croco's going to start up this fight, save us from that conversation. Going to be able to get the ult out of Pyosik to start things off as Liiv SANDBOX are committing to this one. Realm Warp looking to try and get Zephyr out, but it's not going to work. And the last bullet will secure the death of the Rise. DRX possibly back into a position where they can make something work, but Deft's going to take way too much damage. Not going to get slowed down by the Prowling Projectile, and Wind Becomes Lightning not going to connect onto Kingen, as that is going to be just a pick for Liiv SANDBOX, but they're showing signs of life.
Yeah, now they can actually look to force this Drake into their hands, and that's going to force that Cloud Soul point I was talking about. And this was, again, 1 step too far forward for DRX there, and it was essentially a 5v4 fight because unfortunately Kingen wasn't with his team, wasn't able to do that extra damage, and you can see how this composition will work when you have a Jean in the back line, curtain calling. I mean, it's easier said than done, but if they do it, grab that Cloud Soul, there is a way into this game, but again, small baby steps here.
Yeah, I think the comeback mechanics as well can be capitalized on by picking up the Drakes, so of course Liiv SANDBOX, if it did actually come on in, I didn't actually see whether or not they got the extra gold confirmed.
I don't think so.
But if it was there, then those Drakes certainly were able to get them a little bit more. But as we can see, it's still about a 7,000 gold lead. And DRX knocking on the front door of Liiv SANDBOX right now. We can see that rotational power once again coming into effect as they take down the inhibitor turret. Envy going to take a little bit of damage here as Pyosik gets camouflaged. But they'll just move themselves away as now Dove looking for Kingen.
You don't win this one, Kingen.
Yeah, and when you use your E to approach, yeah, the little quick draw over the wall is going to be enough.
Fight or flight, you know, in this case, we know which one.
Yeah.
He's just going to get the blast.
Bring around the Rosie is, yep, both of them now trying to get in. So another spin comes through from Dove. Diving on top of Kingen here as he dashes over the wall, has to wait out the ultimate, and it's not going to be enough as Dove grabs himself the solo kill theoretically, but there is a Jhin.
Pushing power, he's got control of that Drake now, 40 seconds to go, where they have full vision control over that Cloud Soul.
Yep. You can see Pioshik taking a little bit of poke here as he's going to get stunned up by Closer. The ult comes through and he's just exploded. Chain CC is beautiful in the final chapter now onto Beryl, trying to keep them in position, but it's a double kill for Envy. Liiv SANDBOX, they might be doing it. They might be making the comeback happen as Zeka waiting in the brush here on top of vision from Liiv SANDBOX. But this should be a Baron, right? He's taking away the jungler.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, Anfelios can't come in here. It looks like he wants to try to maybe set up for a trade here, at least with the Drake, but that is not a trade you want to take here as DRX. This is actually an incredible position now for Liiv SANDBOX. They can actually control these waves. All that extra gold you've been talking about in those standing turrets will go over them. We will very likely see a gold lead swing to Liiv SANDBOX.
Under 5,000 gold, and at 30 minutes into the game, not as much of a big deal. Plus, they're sitting on 3 Drakes. That Ocean Soul going to be coming through relatively soon, and that is going to be that outer turret that's going to be taken down. The standing gold on the map just gigantic for Liiv SANDBOX as they're pushing towards this mid lane outer.
Now, a lot of pings going down here as well on the top side of the map as there is a push from Kingen at the same time, and he's getting away with it so far here. Liiv SANDBOX will eventually have to respond to this. Now, Dove will get a lot more done, but DRX are getting away with this for free in Baron, so definitely want to respond to that as quickly as possible. And unfortunately, Closer had teleport, but is going to have...
You're taking a bit of damage, but remember, sustain on both sides. We'll see when the engage is actually going to come through. Dove looking for that flank. Kingen now getting up into position. Dove, though, coming from the side, I don't think they have any idea, and he's ghosting on in. He's looking for Zeka, but he's going to go golden immediately. Dove straight taken down to the ultimate, but the Rise is just sniped from the back line. Envy doing some work now as Closer's going to go golden, avoids the collateral damage. It's a double kill for Envy once again, but now it's Def's turn to start popping off. Croco looks for it, but doesn't quite get there, and now Kingen trying to run around 3 people. Def, can he stay alive is going to be the question. The answer is absolutely not, as Dove comes on forward and pops him, and Liiv SANDBOX win themselves another fight. That's an ace. That should be the Ocean Soul.
And that might be the final step that Liiv SANDBOX need to take this game back into their...
I love that Dove changed his mind, right? They felt like they had Zeka out of position, so obviously that was the shot call. But in the middle of his spin,
he turned.
He like Gale Forces back and just dives right on top of Deft. It meant that he wasn't actually able to try and fight with, you know, Zeka having all of the aggro from the opposition. So, second Baron now. Ocean Soul available. Liiv SANDBOX. Everest of a gold graph, by the way. Like, it got up very, very high before Liiv SANDBOX pulled it all the way back down again.
Yeah, it was like, you know, maybe a tree's roots down there at the bottom compared to, like, I don't know, Mount Rushmore at the top. So
we're going for a base race here. Not sure whether it's necessarily going to work out in favor of DRX, but they are going to be able to take it.
This is a very terrifying situation now for DRX, and clearly Liiv SANDBOX have practiced this style of composition. 2 tanks in the front line with the Jhin pick at first seemed puzzling, but when the comp comes together like this, you can really feel why they've chosen it.
Yeah, no, it's working. And Envy, of course, like, there just wasn't a lot resting on his shoulders, right? He just stands back, allows Croco to start off these fights, and then lands the bullets where he needs to. And he absolutely has been doing exactly that. This Genji Academy bottom lane certainly proving to be a fantastic choice for Liiv SANDBOX as they take themselves the mid inhibitor turret. The bot lane one's going to fall down as well. As now Croco diving on forward. They look for the final chapter and they get it as Pioshik tries to find his way out. The exhaust immediately, but the whirling death is there. The Tryndamere just dives on top. Deft is dead as well, and Liiv SANDBOX are going to push for the victory here in game number 1. And oh my god, it was not the game I was expecting. What a banger between DRX and Liiv SANDBOX. Liiv SANDBOX staying tenacious and keeping themselves in it. They'll even grab another kill onto Kingen here to wrap it all up as the Nexus falls down.
Very impressive turnaround. I joked the biggest comeback of the season so far, but I don't think anyone would have expected this level of return to...